Hello there, I'm Big Alias. Season 2, it's here. Come on, get hyped. Come on, guys. Come on, guys, get hyped. Look, it's low-hanging fruit. You know, making fun of it and pretending that no one really cares about it, but no one cares about season 2. I don't know what it is, man. Like, and I say that as someone who likes this game. Like, I just don't feel as though there was any excitement behind season 2. And whether it's because, you know, Hitler's back twice, or whether, you know, it's just because, like, I don't know, man. I feel as though they just kind of threw a poster out and said, hey, here's the stuff you're gonna get. See you on the 28th. And then the 28th hit and we got it, and that was about it. I don't know, man. I feel as though there's no, like, real buzz behind it. And maybe that's because I really don't feel as though this season's very monumental. Maybe it feels like I'm just being picky. I've experienced a few of these seasons over the years. I wouldn't say that I check back for every season, but in Call of Duty, but I have checked back for a fair few, and I just feel as though there was not really much going on here. There's no real new, like, loading screens or changes to the theme of the menu or anything like that. Sure, the card is different when the game loads, and the icon is really only slightly different for it. It still follows the same sort of theme, but that's about it. I mean, I felt as though when Squid Game hit, it was such like a big change, and they added so much stuff, and it was so, you know, meaty. And when it comes to that actual season 2, I'm not really feeling much fanfare here. There was a cutscene that obviously I skipped because they're nonsense, but I don't even remember them giving me, like, one of those mandatory flybys of the battle pass, and so I'm not really buzzed about it. Though I will say, let's talk about that battle pass. Let's get this out of the way, because in this update we're getting several weapons, a new battle pass, and the main event 3 new maps. I want some operators 2. So the battle pass, how's it looking? I have scrolled through this battle pass. I've taken a look. You know what? There are a few things that did sort of catch my eye, maybe a few things that I might apply to my character, but I feel as though for the past few years, battle passes have become less and less relevant as they've introduced these new tiers where it's like, oh, hey, you want to actually pass, you know, £25. Here's the battle pass, and here's the broke bitch battle pass. But think about the broke bitch battle pass, which is the one that I go for, is that there's nothing on here earned, and you know, you can actually earn cool shit. If I run around with Darkmatic ammo, then people might care about that, but certainly not if I use one of the ones from the battle pass, you know. But there's some okay stuff here. There's some cool, like, weapon variants, some blueprints, some finishing moves that I think are quite cool. And I personally like the loading screens. I like collecting the loading screens, which is so weird. And there's a couple here too. But all in all, there's nothing monumental, nothing like really catches my eye, and I don't remember the final thing that you unlock for the battle pass being that impressive either. But there are new weapons. We've got the PPSH, I think it's called, coming back, a staple of Treyarch, and I'm super happy about that. I just love using that weapon, so I can't wait to unlock it in the battle pass. And in terms of operators, I don't really care. I don't care about that either. Let's just talk about them. Let's talk about the map. So in this, you get 3 new maps. You get a map called Dealership, a map called, is it like Casino something? It's some sort of casino term, and you get a slice of Hijacked for a 2v2 face-off map that you can obviously also play in 6v6. Now, the best of the 3, in my opinion, is the casino-y map. It's like a casino apartment thing. I love the size of it, the scaling, the layout, the visual language of the map is really great. There's little nooks and crannies here and there, which I always really like. I love nooks, and man, I love crannies. I take all of that back. There's like this cool bit where you can like jump on these lights. It's really great. It's a really good layout, and visually, I just think it looks great too. I like these, you know, maps that use light and color more. Treyarch are very good at that, and that's done in abundance and very well here. And the little fun fact, I did notice that it's a pure coincidence, it's definitely not intentional. But this map combines the beginning and end visually of the Modern Warfare 3 campaign and the real Modern Warfare 3 campaign. We don't talk about the other one, but it takes those two elements and combines it into a map. So the outside has like a cityscape with cranes and stuff like that, very urban, a la the opening to Modern Warfare 3, and then the inside has like the casino and apartments and sort of nighttime aesthetic from the last mission of Modern Warfare 3. And I will say that bit does feel slightly valid. It really does look like one of the apartments from that last mission of Modern Warfare 3. I don't know, just a bit of a fun fact. I mean, this game is set in the 90s after all, so it wouldn't really make too much sense. Dealership. I will say I'm a little bit conflicted on this, because when I loaded it, I thought, oh no, not another one of these. Oh my god, dude. This is like 50% of the Sledgehammer DLC maps. They're just... I don't know what it is about Call of Duty. They've just become obsessed with this aesthetic recently, and it's a pretty one. It's nice, and when we first saw it, it was cool. But this like European white stone walls and cobbled streets, very pretty Riviera style town, and again, it does look nice, but man, it was so generic. Like, I've seen this so many times, this visual, so much so actually that there was like this uncanny feeling where I was running around and I felt as though I knew what was going to happen next in the map, where the limits were going to be in the edges. However, this map is a real testament to how much better Treyarch are as map builders than any of the other two studios, Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward, in terms of Call of Duty, in that I thought I was reaching the edges, and I thought it would play out in one way, because all of these maps that look like this do, but every now and then there was like a little off-ramp, a little slope here and there, a little bit of verticality here and there, that I actually really appreciated. And all in all, the layout is far better here than it is in those generic maps that look just like this. But that doesn't mean that there's too much interesting going on here. It feels like a very generic map, and very just like, it's all right, it's just a standard, not bad map. And then finally, the weirdest one, which is I think it's called Lifeboat or something like that. The hijack mini version. What the hell is this, man? It's so small, and I don't make a habit of saying that, but this thing is laughably small, and I find it impossible to take seriously. It's hijacked essentially, but on a smaller boat, and it is so small. I think it might be the smallest map in Call of Duty history. At least it felt like it, and it's just a mess. Like, it's just chaos. You spawn in, and there's just people everywhere, and it's you know what, kind of marks like a shift in my view of this of Call of Duty at the moment. And I do like Black Ops 6, and I am enjoying it, and you can play in a way where it takes itself seriously, but maps like this just make me think that Treyarch are sort of sacrificing this game, and I appreciate them not taking things too seriously, but when I see a map like this and I consider things like Stakeout and stuff like that, I understand that they're supposed to be small maps, but man, it just feels like XP farming. It just feels like an excuse to get you in there and collecting camos and earning XP, and also just never having a moment where you're not having to look for anyone. And that feels like a very important part of this game. And when it feels so important to this game, it just feels as though, like, is it detracting from this game actually feeling like, a proper arena shooter, and instead just feeling like this weird, like, collectathon style FPS game? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. And it is fun. It's a fun little addition. It's very gimmicky, and it is just like all-out action constantly. But when I see Stakeout 24/7 once again in the rotation, and then I hop onto this map, and I just can't help but think, like, is this game trying to not be taken seriously at this point? I don't know. I know that all the camos don't really help that, but in that case, it's them trying to make money, and here it feels like something different. But like I said, it is fun to have a very chaotic, silly map where there's constant action, and it can be quite fun, and it is good for leveling things too. We also have a double XP event this weekend. So that rounds everything off. How do I feel about this season? It's mid. It's just mid. Like it's okay, but nothing special, man. Nothing to get excited about, and it's not going to be a reason to get into the game if you were not into it previously. It's just like, it's mid.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.